Hi guys, welcome back to the 6th episode of Dance Drive Support Network. I'm Marielle, and today we are here with a special guest, Caroline Krumm, my physical therapist. So if you just want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, like Marielle said, I'm Caroline. I work at Westside Dance Physical Therapy, which is a dance-focused PT clinic that works with the New York City Ballet as well as School of American Ballet. I also see clients from all over New York, and a lot of dancers, students. I went to undergrad at Miami of Ohio and got my BS in kinesiology, and then I came immediately to NYU to do my doctorate in physical therapy, and have been a practicing physical therapist since 2021.
Obviously, we know you have a ton of experience in the field, but I wanted to know what got you interested in physical therapy. Did you have a background as a dancer, and how does that affect you in your job now?
So I did dance as a kid, and into my teens. I never thought that I was going to go professional, but I was really interested once I had my first injury, or my first serious injury, I should say. Once I had to be in physical therapy myself, I just kind of was looking around at the clinic and was like, this is a cool job. Like right after I had my first injury, which was a meniscus tear and MCL tear in my knee, I decided that I wanted to try and pursue a career in physical therapy and to actually be able to keep people dancing. And I think there's a big difference in physical therapy for dancers than there is for athletes or for just the normal person. I can make my job really creative, even though it sounds like it would be really scientific.
And when you were first in PT school, did you have an idea that you wanted to work with dancers? When did that passion start coming along?
Pretty much right after I rehabbed from my knee injury, I tried to go back to dancing. I was a ballet dancer, dancing on point. And the PTs that I went to, I'm from Nashville, so I stayed in Nashville for my treatment. And at the time, there was no dance PT. It's not a big dance city. Then I Googled it and I found out about Marika Molnar, who is my boss at Westside Dance. She founded Westside Dance 20, 30 years ago. And she was actually asked by George Balanchine himself to start New York City Ballet's physical therapy program, which is really cool. So anyway, after that Google search, I found out that it had already been started. So my next goal and my new goal became to be work with and under Marika Molnar for the New York City Ballet. And here I am.
Here we are now. Especially when you're trying to find careers in the dance industry, there's so many opportunities, but also at the same time, the opportunities feel so limited. Are obviously outlets. If you don't see yourself being a professional dancer, there are outlets to still be involved in the dance community. What is it like being on the other side of things?
The other side of things is less stressful than being on the side of things where you're dancing, kind of intertwined in the dance community in New York. I'm backstage at Lincoln Center 4 or 5 times a week, get to work one-on-one with students. The newer generation of young dancers is really being brought into a new dance world that's different than the one I was brought into and different than probably even the one you were brought into. These kids, yes, they are striving for perfection even more than we were as kids, but they are being told the right things. There used to be a very big culture of if you have an injury, you suck it up. That's part of dance.
I think that's really an important aspect that you got to experience because you know the experience, the perspective of our side, but now that you're older and have matured, you are able to be around that and giving your advice to people who are going through it at the same time.
One upside of the heightened social media world that we're living in is that these dancers are there's some good information out there, like this podcast, but I will say there's a lot of content, way more content that's actually incorrect.
What is something that you see that is common, and how do you think we can best counteract it?
Yeah, I have a very easy answer to this question. The most common thing I see is people trying to turn out too much from their feet and their knees and not efficiently using the deep hip rotators in their in the back of their hips. Everybody's different. Our anatomy is so different. even just a few degrees of a change in the angle of how your, bones, kind of the joints like fit together, can change how much turnout you have, how much turn in you have. Of course, there's muscular parts of this too. And what I see the most, and the thing that injures the most hips, knees, ankles, and even feet, like the metatarsals, is people having this over turnout where they force their feet into what, like if we're talking about a first position, to what looks like maybe 180 degrees or close to a flat turnout. If you look a little bit closer, you may see that some of these people are pronating or rolling their feet in. You may see that they're clawing and gripping at the floor with their toe. That's creating some joint problems in your ankle and your knee, especially when you add a plie to that or you add a jump to it. So yes, with Marielle's personal experience, what you need to kind of look at is go face the side of a mirror, hold on to a bar, go into first position, or to what your first position is that you would use in class, and plie. And if you can look in the side of the mirror and see that your knee is going over your toes.
Like, think this is your foot and that, like, your knee.
Yeah, your knee, exactly.
That's a really bad
That was a great model. Yeah, sorry, your knee is going in line with your toes. Also part of why we get so many ankle sprains, because of this forced alignment. If I had one suggestion for the entire dance community, especially in a turned out type of class, it is to focus on knees over toes. High standards from social media of seeing like someone's perfect 180-degree turnout, or those are the people that are promoted in companies, even not always achievable for everybody. Trying to have this 180-degree turnout, but we don't actually have that at our hips. We're going to be losing stability in our dancing. If you're at bar or center and you're doing like a combination from fifth position where you're going ton to the front, ton to the back, like alternating sides. Those exercises are really good to see, are you actually using that turnout that you're putting your foot in? One, you are using too much turnout, and two, you don't maybe know how to activate your deep turnout muscles that are actually at the kind of where our butt meets our thigh, not the top of the glutes, where a lot of people feel this gripping sensation, is actually using those deep hip rotator muscles. And
I feel like that definitely is something that I know I can relate to. And we worked together on, we literally just did an alignment exercise where we were thinking about stabilizing that ankle. Then I'm just activating it from the wrong, and then I'm finding tension in the sides of my foot. So like figuring out the proper way to doing things, dancers should go to dance physical therapists if they have access to them. Obviously, Westside Dance is a great resource if you're in Manhattan. I've been going here since I was a really young, really young dancer, and I feel like it's helped me a lot. Listening to physical therapists, because obviously they know what to say.
I have to kind of play around with what works for each individual person. We can really help you understand what muscles you should be using.
Well, thank you so much, Caroline. I hope that you guys enjoyed this closing of the injuries series, and we will see you next week.